So this is going to be my final look at the Blitzway Mosho Shin Getter Robo, and I'm going to be doing a comparison with some other companies. And the first one is Bandai. This one rather dusty. Let it get quite dusty. So this one's the one that I have that's most tricked out. He's got his giant sword. He's got his wings. Everything's attached, and I don't like this figure. It was one of the most disappointing figures I've ever gotten, particularly since Bandai has such a high track record of producing quality figures. And this is part of their metal build line, which generally, pound for pound, are about as good as they get. But I don't really like this figure to the point where one of the reason he's on a stand is because he just doesn't stand very well. I don't like the colors on it. I know it's red and white and green, but something about it just doesn't appeal to me. The dimensions seem weird. The head, I don't know. Not a fan of the engineering. So I'm going to put him to the side because definitely my least favorite of the Shin Getter Robos, which I have a few. The next one I'm going to look at is Shin Getter Robo from CCS Toys. Now, this one here, let's look up. This one here does not have all the things on it. He doesn't have his wings, but it is a pretty cool figure. And you can see with CCS Toys, they add a lot of flourishes on here, a lot of detailing, and so we can get in here close, see the head on here. So there's all sorts of extra detailing around the place. And I like the colors. I like the matte finish of the colors. Okay, and next we'll bring out the... well, I tell you what, I always think of CCS Toys as very heavy, but some of these newer figures are really heavy. And it looks bigger, even though they look like they're about the same height for whatever reason on the camera. I don't know why. They're about the same height. But this one is a much simpler, cleaner design. A lot less detailing, more anime accurate. But I between the two, it's hard to say because this has got a lot of neat stuff going. This has got a lot of neat stuff going. I think this is heavier, actually. But between the two, I don't think you can go wrong with either of them. But obviously, it's got shiny paint on it, whereas this has got a dull paint. And I like both. I think they both can be very appealing. Both have fully articulated fingers. They both have light-up features. This one was a bit more difficult to get the light-up features to get the batteries in, and I think I was having some problems with the light-up features working. Although on this one, I did get the forearms to work. I have not figured out how to get the forearms to work. This one, the blades are plastic. They're not as big. This one has actual metal blades. They're larger on it. If I had to choose between them, I think I'd go with Blitzway. But they're both winners. I think they're both very nice. That is all of my Shin Getter Robos. I do have a lot of other Getter Robos, a ton more. The only other one I'm going to show is SkyX. SkyX never produced a Shin Getter Robo, but this is Getter Robo, and their design is gorgeous. Their figures are so solid, so rock solid. They also do a lot more detailing on these, which it depends on what you like. If you like simplicity, Blitzway makes very simple figures. They're not simple in design. They're not skimping. It's just very anime accurate. Whereas this one really doesn't look like... He just has all this little extra patterning in here. But I felt this is my first SkyX figure, and I just fell in love with it. And so SkyX does not produce a lot of figures. CCS does not produce a lot of figures. CCS will reproduce figures quite often. So if you miss out on it, I suggest probably not going out and paying an inflated price for it. You probably just wait and get it later when it gets re-released again. But they only have like 8 or 10 figures they've produced. SkyX doesn't have that many. But this one really is gorgeous. So certainly not my complete Getter Robo, but this is all my Shin Getter Robos. I'm not even going to put the Bandai in this setup here because I just don't like the figure. I really should just box it up. So that's comparison between various companies that are producing Getter Robo and Shin Getter Robo figures.